In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of the Realist Temple on Earth. Of course, I'm the gatekeeper of this internet ministry, known here on YouTube as the mighty Angel Snub 7, your brother, and hopefully your friend, Taalik Ibn'rad, not only on YouTube, but I have videos, tongue-tied. I have videos on Daily Motion, Vimeo, MySpace, and make sure that you friend me as Sheshor Tenobeta on Facebook. With that being said, I challenge God. We're going to start off just like that. Do you hear me, Supreme Being, wherever you at? Are you up in the sky? Or are you on the sides of me? Are you down below? I challenge God. I challenge you to do the things that you have promised the righteous in your so-called Holy Scripture. I challenge you to do those things right now, because we have been waiting. Well, not me, but these believers, well, I'm included, because at one time, I believed in Jesus. I believe in Muhammad. I believe in Allah. I believe in Jehovah. I believe in Yahweh. I believed in God. But my faith in God became broken because I saw that my prayers and my righteousness, although righteousness is good for me, but I saw my behaviors and activity, my will to bow down to this so-called Supreme Being, going for naught. It meant nothing, because this so-called power did and shown to do nothing to support me in my efforts to support he, she, or it, or whatever God may be. So I challenge this God to fulfill your promise to humanity, and you have not done it for over 2,000 some years, if not longer. Well, oh my Lord. Brother, how can you dare come out and challenge God, the ultimate authority, the ultimate power? Why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't you challenge God? Y'all challenge authority and you challenge power all the time. You challenge your boss at work. You ask your boss after you worked there for so long a time, boss, I need a raise. Boss, I need a promotion. Why aren't you giving it to me? If you did not challenge authority, if you did not challenge your boss, you might not get a raise. You might not get a promotion. You might not have a future at that company if you don't stand up for what you earn in that company and challenge those who are in authority, those who are in power. You know this. You challenge your parents. You question your parents. You question your boss at work. You question those who gave birth to you. You ask them, where do babies come from? Why don't you teach me how to drive a car? Why do you treat my big older brother better than you do me? You say that we are treated equal, but I don't see it. I need a pair of shoes. But why aren't you buying me a pair of shoes? You can see I want. I need to be taken care of. You say if I get good grades, I can go to the party, but you won't let me go to the party. You broke your promise. This is a challenge of authority, especially when that authority you feel is being unjust to you because they made promises. You know that you earned something. They did not keep their promise by giving you the reward that they promised you. In America, not in all countries, but I do know in America, you can challenge the President of the United States. Why are you sending those troops to Afghanistan? Why are you sending those troops to Iraq? Why do you want to send troops to Iran, to North Korea? Why are you doing these things? You can question authority. You can go out in the street and protest against authority. You and the President of the United States, this is what I heard, that the President of the United States is the most powerful man in the world. So if you can challenge the President of the United States, you can question his authority. You can challenge your parents, who is the only authority, the only power you knew as a child growing up. You challenge your boss at work, even though the boss can fire you at any time or give you severe problems. You challenge authority. So you challenge all these powers. You challenge all these persons that's in authority. But for some reason, the ultimate authority, the parent, the boss, that which you call God, for some reason, that power is exempt from being challenged. Why is this? Why is this? Why can you challenge your boss, your parents, the president? You can challenge your wife, your children, the dog, but you cannot challenge God. And God has promised you much. And this God has been making us promises for thousands of years, not for a few days, not for a few months, not for 50 years or 100 years, thousands of years. And we sit back looking silly because we are told, if you live a righteous life, if you do what's right, whatever that might be, do not commit sin. Do as what God wants you to do. Now, of course, we have backsliders, and we have those who are hypocrites, who really don't believe in God. But there are thousands, if not millions, that are doing everything they can to walk correctly, to talk correctly, and to do exactly what this God wants us to do, like you would do and obey your boss at a job. So when you obey your boss on a job, then you have earned something. And since you have earned something, you expect what? To get paid. So, I'm a righteous person, and I have obeyed the laws of God. And many have done this over the centuries with no doubt. Or they have tried with the best of their ability, and when you are on the job, you can only give your boss the best of your ability, as nobody can be perfect. Everybody is on different levels on the job, but we trying to get this job done. So wherever we at, whether you are making millions of dollars, thousands of dollars, or you're making the minimum wage, you are earning something due to your work, due to your sacrifice. And if you don't get what you earn, you challenge the boss. If you don't get what you earn from your parents, you challenge the boss. In this society, if society is not faring the way we believe that it should do, right now, we in this country, the United States, are suffering or going through an economic downturn. Going up a little bit, going down. We challenge the president to do better. And if this president can't do better, then you will vote this one out and try to get somebody else in. Why isn't this sort of thinking applied to God. Where is this heaven, God? Give me a sign. Only thing this God do is make promises and talk. Where are the babies being born of a virgin in 2012? Where are the physically dead being raised to life in 2012? Show me my hereafter from the Quran. Show me my heaven. And God, why did you choose the Jews? And this is not being anti-Semitic. This is not being hateful. This is a fact. This is a people within the scriptures of the Bible and Quran, and even living among us today, the Zionists in Israel have always been a rebellious people against God. Why do you choose, God, to choose a people as your so-called chosen that have been nothing but rebellious? So now they sit in Israel waiting to drop bombs on Iran, or just waiting to do something of some type of destruction. There is nothing peaceful about these people. In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always. Welcome to another edition of the Reality's Temple on Earth. I am your host, the mighty Angel Snub number 7, your brother and hopefully your friend, Taalik Ibn'rad. I would first like to begin by saying that your brother Taalik is not a religion basher. I will say that again. I am not a religion basher. And there are many positives to religious belief. If I told you that religious belief was pure evil, then I would be telling you a lie, because if it was not for religion, I would not be talking to you right now. However, in all things, and that's where we make our mistake, in all things there is negative and positive, but once we become religious believers, we feel as though we have entered perfection, or what we have been given is perfection, and we get very angry at those who point out flaws and errors in what we deem as perfect. So for a lot of those who are listening to the sound of my voice, I am seen as someone to be hated because I point out error and flaw in what many of us have taken to heart and have become loyal to what we view as perfection. But there's nothing in our reality, in a delusionary world, in a false world, but in this world that we know of where religion comes from, there's no such thing as perfection. So I'm not here to degrade or make mockery of religion, but we need to understand why things are the way they are. Why do we think why do we do the things that we do? My spiritual father, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and you can get this little pamphlet called The Meaning of FOI, The Meaning of the Fruit of Islam. In that little pamphlet, he tells the fruit of Islam, you are not a robot. This is what Elijah Muhammad taught us as a FOI. You are not a robot. You have the right to challenge my teachings and study my teachings for yourself to see whether it is right or wrong. You are not a robot. The FOI is a free thinker. So, does this mean that Elijah Muhammad's own teaching is off the chopping block? Or is he teaching me that I have the right, and since I have a free mind myself, that I can critique everything, including that which he has taught me? And if my mind comes to the conclusion that I have found fault and error in his teaching, now does that make me wrong when my teacher told me you are not a robot? So, in other words, you can examine and research whatever anybody else has to offer, but with mine is perfect. You don't have to worry about mine. That's not how it works. In this world, in this life, in this reality, everything has a positive and everything has a negative. Everything has good in it, everything has bad in it. But again, in our minds, what we believe and have become loyal to, it has reached a level of perfection, and there's no such thing as perfection. Because if there was such thing as perfection, y'all, then there would be no need for change. We can keep things just the way they are. But in this reality, in this world, things are always changing because they are not perfect. Something that always better can come into existence. I always wondered about this thing we call prayer. Regardless to your religious belief systems, we are taught to pray. And one of the reasons of why we are taught to pray is to show our submission to the Supreme Being, that we are fighting our own arrogance, our own will of self-gratification and grandiose thinking, and give all the credit to our Creator. So we are asked to pray. And in that prayer should bring submission to do the will of the Creator. So that is why we exist. We exist to glorify the will of the Creator. Our own existence means nothing. We mean absolutely zero. So my question is, if my life means absolutely zero, my own purpose of existing is just to be a servant to another person, to me that sounds like slavery. Because as a slave, or as a pet, as a domesticated dog or rat or snake or whatever, that life no longer serves the purpose of the individual life form. The purpose of the slave or the purpose of the pet is to benefit its master. But at the same time, you claim that God is against slavery, but yet it's all right for God to have slaves. It's all right for God to have servants. Oh, brother, you're taking it out of context. How am I taking it out of context when you say I'm here to serve the Lord? And if you're serving the Lord, then are you serving Him like one would serve someone in a restaurant? And that person in the restaurant don't view you as a slave, but as a server. Someone who is just offering their services and you're getting something in return for your work. This relationship that we have with this Creator or this God, what is the benefit that we're getting? And then another thing, the server
the server who serves the person in the restaurant, they have the same potential. Because the person of whom is being served could easily be their servant. But in this relationship, when you have a slave relationship, that's not going to happen. You exist for the sole purpose of being a slave or a servant to somebody else or something else. Just like your pet. Your pet exists to serve and gratify your own selfishness. Because you taking a life and deny that life its freedom. So what is the purpose of prayer? And they ask us to pray every day. You are asked to pray every day in the Christian church. You are asked to pray in Islam 7 times a day, if not more. What is the purpose of pray, pray, pray? Well, again, you're showing submission to the will of God. In prayer, you can ask your Creator, your Massa, for special favors. I thought y'all black people were sick of being slaves. Because that's the same thing that the slave did to the white man. Massa, you praying. Massa, please don't send my wife to another plantation, Massa. Massa, can I have some corn, Massa? Massa, why? I feel sick today, Massa. Don't make me work today, Massa. God, I'm out of a job. Please do this for me. God, my baby's sick. Would you heal him? Master-slave relationship. Because the slave, the slave can't do a damn thing for the master. You never hear the master telling the slave, will you do this for me or do that for me? And that's the type of relationship. There is no benefit for you. But see, if you are a server, and the person that you're serving in a restaurant, that person can turn around and easily be in a position where the roles are switched. So next time you see this person, you say, now I'm the one who's getting served. That's when you are in an environment of freedom. But when you are in an environment of slavery, that never happens. So we are asked to pray in religion. Over and over again. You are asked to pray in religion, to condition the mind to submit to slavery, to being a servant, to being a number 2, to being a number 10, 11, 12. You are nothing. You only exist for the sole purpose of your master. Well, there's a difference between the master being the white man and the master being God. What difference is it? You have no freedom. It is to condition you so that you don't think, and so that you don't have the will to resist thinking for yourself. Because as an independent, your own life form, as your own being, there's nothing wrong with you being who you are and what you came into existence to be. But in these religious belief systems, they want you to be, it's like an assembly line, and a spiritual assembly line. And they want everybody to be the same. I was tripping off what is happening in the Nation of Islam. And everybody is being named Muhammad. Well, we know what your first name is. I can guess what your second name going to be. It's Muhammad. An assembly line for God. I guess that's what Henry Ford went to heaven or whatever and taught God how to... No, actually, this was before Henry Ford. Maybe that's where Henry Ford got the inspiration for an assembly line. and everybody is the same. So if you talk to this Muslim, you might as well talk, you don't have to worry about the other Muslim because they all the same. Everybody the same. Nobody has no different thought. Nobody don't look at nothing different. It's an assembly line. But in this world, there is no assembly line. Everybody is different. In the human family, everybody is different. That's natural. To make everybody, or try to cause everybody to act and behave and do the same thing, that's unnatural. You are you. Once you leave this life, there will never be another you. Once I leave this life, there'll never be another me. But in religion, we have an assembly line trying to make everybody be the same. That is unnatural. Hold on, going to part 2. So here we are. The products of a spiritual assembly line. So you can go to any church and ask any question, and it's basically the same. People try to act the same type of mannerisms, walk the same, do everything the same. An assembly line. You've lost all your individuality. Prayer is used, and to pray. And you pray all the time so it can break up your natural will to think for yourself. At one time, I thought backsliding was a bad thing. And to a certain point it is. Backsliding. Because when you backslide, you are doing something detrimental. Because immorality is detrimental. I will agree with that. However, do you know why you backslide? Do you know why you have a problem keeping the faith? It is because your soul wants to be free. And this faith wants to keep you confined, wants to keep you incarcerated. So you can't be yourself. So yes, in your will to be free, you backslide, but that's just your own mind trying to get itself free, wanting to think for itself, wanting to do his own thing, make his own decision, not based on what the Bible says, not based on what the Quran says, not based on brother so-and-so said and Pastor Mudflap. No! Your mind, your brain wants freedom. It wants to do its own thing. And it wants to get free so bad that even though it knows that this immorality or this sin is bad, it needs a way in order to express itself. Woo, assembly line mentality. That's why it is easy. It's just like at McDonald's. You can have a hamburger in the United States, and you should get the same hamburger in Russia. It's the same thing. If you go to this Christian church, you go to this mosque, it's all the same thing. It's an assembly line. But we live in a world that's ever evolving, ever changing. You are a human being. I am not like you. You are not like me. But when we get caught up in religious teaching, it makes us slaves and put us on the assembly line, and we become manufactured to be whatever we have voluntarily accepted our mind to be a slave to. Y'all don't get it, do you? I want to ask you something. Let us pretend you are God. Let us pretend you are Allah. How would you feel if somebody or a being that is inferior to you, always crying to you. Oh, brother Taalik, pray Taalik 7 times a day. Pray Taalik, oh Taalik, and they praying to you and worshiping you. That's rather sickening to me. I would not want nobody to praise my name 7 times a day, when they wake up, when they go to sleep. To me, that sounds so arrogant. Who in their right mind want to hear it? Okay, I understand if you do something and people appreciate it, if you say, thank you, Brother Taalik, cool. Because if people don't acknowledge, good works, whatever, you sort of like, hey, I guess I'm not appreciated. Okay, so that's good. But you want somebody, oh, Taalik this, oh, I praise Taalik, oh, the great Taalik, the beneficent, the merciful, oh, come on. Constantly, 24 hours a day. Go to church, banging the drum, playing the guitar, and dancing and singing. Oh, God, oh, Taalik, how would y'all feel? That is an arrogant, Hasidic, bougie. Oh, man. If God was a person, y'all would not like him. Because that's bougie, that's arrogant, that's egotistical, and all that. And you claim you don't like nobody to act that way, but you don't mind that type of behavior coming from God. God is the Father. God is the Creator. He's the ultimate parent. But at the same time, if this is true, then why aren't you asking your children, you are the parent, why aren't you asking your children, praise you, sing and dance in your name? Well, see, I'm not the parent. See, God is the parent. But you don't feel right, your child singing and dancing and hollering and screaming your name 24 hours a day. You a parent. By his will, by God's will, of course, but you're still a parent. How come you can't get some of that ego stuff, singing and dancing and praising your name? See, if it's not good for you, why is it good? Why do we do this in religion? I'm not here to bash, again, I'm not here to bash religion. I'm here to get us to think for ourselves and try to bring some type of understanding to the why we do the things that we do. This is very difficult. It is very difficult because we have been conditioned for thousands of years to be like this. So I do not get angry at no one who gets angry at me. Because this is the only life that we know. The reason why black people have a problem with breaking or becoming truly free is because slavery is the only thing that we know. I want to conclude this conversation with this. Religion is the #1 reason why black people in America, we can't unite. Because we do have jealousy and envy and anger issues and things of this nature. But when it all comes down to it, it's always something to do with some kind of religion. That's the main factor. Oh, well, brother, I do understand what you're saying, but you, brother, you don't believe in God, you see, and you are destined to go to hell. I don't want to affiliate with someone who is going to go to hell. My God has condemned people like you. But at the same time, your God says that he loves everybody. So if you love everybody, why don't you get along with everybody? That's a question I want to put up. If you love everybody, y'all so peaceful and loving, well, how come all of you who claim to love God and so peaceful and loving, how come your church is over there, his church is over there? Y'all cannot even come together for a multi-religious service because you have that hatred. Oh, them Muslims, I don't mess with. Them Muslims won't let me bring my pork chop onto the mosque. I can't. And them Christians, them some Uncle Toms and blah blah. But you said that you represent peace and love, and you claim that you, and all of you be talking about how you love people and you love black folks. Well, look at all the religious influence that we have in the black community, then why aren't we together? It is because we don't think for ourselves. You doing your thing, she doing her thing, everybody doing their thing, and there's hatred, not love, for another person that don't think the way you think. You didn't come off the same assembly line like me. So, I don't drive Cadillacs. Me personally, I really have no problem driving any kind of car, as long as I get to point A to B. But see, some of y'all, oh no, I got to drive a Cadillac. I got to have a Toyota. You become loyal to brands. And that's how you are in religion. I'm loyal. I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus. That Islam, no. I'm a Muslim. Prophet Muhammad. Allahu Akbar. No, I don't want to hear that Christian stuff no more. We become loyal to brands. But you are in a situation where you just need a car to get from point A to point B. People that need a ride don't give a damn about what kind of car they riding in, as long as it gets to where they want to go. So a cab comes, I don't hear nobody talking about, oh, I can't take that cab. I want a Toyota. I want a Cadillac. No, the cab shows up, you get in and go about your, that's how we need to think. I don't care. I want black unity. I don't care if it's a Christian cab. I don't care if it's a Muslim cab. I don't care if it's an atheist or agnostic cab. Let us get in the car and let us get to rolling where we need to go. And since religion is one of the number one things that is keeping the black family apart, then I have no choice but to keep talking to us and break this mentality up, because it makes no difference what your religious belief is. You can pray day in and day out, but when those prayers, when that belief interferes with us and our struggle as a people in this nation trying to seek true justice, freedom, justice, and equality, then I have a problem, and you should have a problem too. But our oppressors don't mind that, because as long as we are at each other's throats, their world will continue to roll. We can do better. You may not know it or not, but just the fact that you're listening to this video, God is answering your prayers, because it's bringing things to us, bringing things to our attention that is causing our division, causing our hatred, causing these things to keep us from coming together. And once we realize it and accept that truth, everything else will begin to fall in place. So, brothers and sisters, in conclusion, we should not want to be slaves to no man or nothing. There's nothing wrong with free will. When free will causes those things which is beneficial to you, wrong with. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. You have a right to your own life. Why do you want to be a servant to somebody all the time? You would think after over 300 years of being a servant to somebody, you would think we would not want to be slaves to nobody. If anything, we want to be served for a change. Just think about it. Think for yourself. This is your brother Taalik Ibn'rad. Jot down your comments. And I'm not, believe me, I'm not a religion basher. I want to try to bring us understanding so we can break these barriers down, so we can do what is in the best interest of our children and we as a people. Thank you for listening. This is your brother Taalik Ibn'rad, the Angel Snubbed Up 7. This was, and is, brothers and sisters, let us think for ourselves. The Reality's Temple on Earth. In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always. Welcome, welcome, once again. Hey, can I get a hug? Sisters, can I get yeah. Brother, a handshake will do. Oh. Hey, Brother Taalik, that was a slick way to get a feel. Y'all something else. Welcome once again to another edition of the Reality's Temple on Earth. I am the host of this internet ministry, known as the mighty Angel Snubbed Up 7. Your brother and hopefully your friend, Taalik Ibn'rad. I would first like to begin by saying, I know that my, I guess you could say, my presence is intimidating. I know that what comes out of my mouth can make you very defensive and rile you up. Now for some it makes some people happy, joyous. But I want to talk to those who get angry, upset, things of this nature. We have to understand that truth hurts. Not only will it hurt you, but it hurts me also. But the difference between you and I is that I can hurt, but I take that hurt to make myself better and move forward to greater things. I'm not going to allow that hurt to turn in depression and turn into unjustified anger, because I don't like the truth that you may be bringing to me. That's the difference between you and I. I'm not going to get angry at real truth. But see, some of y'all think that you have the truth, but you don't. And that's what makes you even more angrier when you come or meet someone like myself that not only has the real truth behind me, but a voice that can represent to the fullest what that real truth is. And that's what really makes you upset. But I am not an enemy to religion, because if we behave in the way that the religion has taught us, we would not be here in the condition that we're in. The reason why the world suffers, even though religion is all over this planet, is because those who maintain the religion, those who say they believe, are not acting the way they should. You have become incompetent, and you have become an illusion of righteousness. You are an illusion of truth. You are an illusion of what God really is. You don't represent God for real. So what you have is an illusion of peace. And that's why there is no peace in the world. Even though there's a church on every corner, a mosque, a synagogue, you have all these places of worship on every corner, in every corner. You don't have peace. You don't have love. You don't have brotherhood. You don't have joy, and you don't even find that in the religion that you claim you believe in. All of y'all separated. All y'all full of hatred toward one another. So if the religious people hate one another, divided, angry at one another, jealous and envious, what do you expect from somebody like me who said, I don't believe in God? And one of the main reasons of why I don't believe in God, because there is no brotherhood in religion. Your house is full of hypocrites. Y'all weak in the mind, and you're liars and you're deceivers. You are illusions of what God is supposed to be. Then you get angry at somebody like me because I show you the man in the mirror. And when you see the man in the mirror, you want to see somebody who's holy. You want to see somebody that's righteous. You want to see somebody that stands upright. But when I show you the man in the mirror, you can't handle it, because when you look at that mirror, you don't see God. You don't see Jesus. You don't see Muhammad. What you see is a devil. The Satan that you say that you are fighting against, that you don't like, that's what you see in that mirror. You don't see none of these righteous figures that you claim you support, and that is supposed to be part of who and what you are and what you believe. Y'all, nothing but advocates for wickedness. Ooh, I know you don't like what I'm saying. And that's the reason why you don't. Because if you had that love and compassion that you're talking about, you can tolerate my words. But you got a devil in you. You're unrighteous. And that's why in the houses of Christianity, in the houses of all these religions, your house is just as nasty and dirty as the bums and the prostitutes and the pimps or whatever that's out on the street that you say full of sin. So don't bring that self-righteous garbage to me. And even in your own religious teachings, it says that your righteousness is as oily rags in the sight of God. So don't try to be holy and pure. And don't fake the funk. And that's what many of y'all, that's the problem with many religions, is that y'all faking the funk. Because really, you can't handle being a Christian. A real Christian, you can't handle being a Muslim. Not a real Muslim, you can't handle it. You're too weak in the mind. You're too absorbed in your flesh. And your understanding of things, your comprehension is very, very poor. Because anything that takes you outside of your reality, and religion should not, real religion, not fictionalism, fantasyism. It says real religion, giving legion to reality. Well, y'all don't understand, do you? But somebody has tricked you. Somebody has deceived you and got you going way out there in la-la land somewhere. And that's why you are ineffective in this world. Because you're functioning on a fictional fantasy plane, while the wicked understand their reality and they control that reality, and you're nothing but a laughing joke. You're just somebody that goes to church every Sunday, go to the mosque every whatever, but you have no real effect on the evil and the wickedness and the unrighteous behaviors that you claim you are here to fight against. Oh man, if only you could understand. You may view Brother Taalik as your enemy when really I'm your friend, because I'm that man in the mirror. And it's time that you make a change. And I'm asking you to make a change, because Brother Taalik is not an enemy to Christians. I'm not an enemy to Muslims. I'm not an enemy to Jews. I'm an enemy against that which is evil, that which is unrighteous, that which is unjust, unfair. I am an enemy to those who are oppressed. And if that's what you are also represent, then why do you have a problem with Brother Taalik? Because I want you to like the man in the mirror. I don't want you to talk about and give the illusion of being righteous, being godly, being standing upright. That's what I want you to be. Because really, the stronger you are, the stronger I am. How we help one another so that we can rise up into the glory or into the heavens, so that we can sit forever at the foot or with the Father, thou art in heaven. If you really understand this concept in a real sense. But since somebody has guided you to fantasy and fiction, you are like the child. You are like the child. You are like the child that has been told fairy tale. And then you get upset because as you mature and age, or when an adult tells you better, then you get upset and don't want to believe it, because you can't believe that your parents lied to you about Santa Claus. So you don't want to believe somebody lied to you about Jesus. They lied to you about Muhammad. They lied to you in that which you have embraced and become loyal to. It's impossible they would lie to me like that. Well, not just lie. Let's just say they stretch the truth where it's no longer real. And real religion, a legion or a loyalty to reality, that's not what you're getting. You're getting fantasy and dribble. And then when somebody who is real comes to you, you don't know how to deal with them. You don't know how to handle them. You don't treat Brother Taalik like you do atheists. You know what I see in atheism? Here come all the religious folks out of everywhere. They attack the atheists. Never ending. But Brother Taalik, who can be considered an atheist, but I'm not, I'm a realist. And there is a difference, whether you like it or not. Y'all don't come to me like that. First of all, if you watch the video and you listen to what is said, you know you ain't got a prayer in hell to debate. There's nothing to debate. It's just like debating a drunk. And a drunk is going to tell you about a pink elephant. There's no such thing as a pink elephant. But you got to also understand that he has been made drunk. Now in his mind, being drunk, pink elephants exist. But once he becomes sober, once he becomes sober and get up out of his drunkenness, then he is also able to see, wow, man, what happened to the pink elephant? That was not part of reality. So I understand that you have become drunk in your religion. But when you come here, I'm going to sober you up. But see, some of y'all loyal to your drunkenness, that no matter what anybody says or does, you're going to believe in your pink elephant. So since you're going to believe in your pink elephant, no matter what I say or no matter what anybody else says or do, then we're going to work with you in your drunkenness. We're going to work with you and your pink elephant so that the pink elephant can help you instead of causing you to be drunk. That's why That's why some people are good at rehabilitation, because they can work with the person even in their sickness. So we're going to work with you in your drunkenness. Man, this is so wonderful. If only y'all understood. Brother Taalik wants you to be a good Christian, wants you to be good Muslim. Because the better you get, the more healthier you get instead of sickly, the more it is, the better it is for me and all of us, no matter where we are on this planet. And Christianity, these religions, really, it's a wonderful thing. And I will talk about that as we have run out of time here and fly on to part 2. Man, this is really just wonderful. Don't get angry at Brother Taalik. Just listen. I'm not your enemy. I am your brother, and not hopefully, I am your friend. Go. Are you still with me? Okay. I want to use a popular story from the Bible to bring this talk to conclusion. And it is the story, or some of the, or part of the story, comes from the crucifixion of the man we know of as Jesus. Some call him the Christ. Of course, as you know, the enemies of Jesus paraded him down the street. They put a crown of thorns on his head and made him carry a cross or a tree, the same tree later on they would nail him up on. And I'm very sure that was a sad moment for the believers in him. And it was humiliating. And I'm very sure that he himself could not understand how a man could do another man like this when you've never done nothing to them. This was so terrible. But I want to say this to Christians, and this should also be an example to all of you who are religious believers. And I'm telling you, you don't like to talk about it, but it is clear as day that hypocrites and weak-minded people have taken over your faith. Because if this is not true, then we should have a different result. Let me go ahead and speak on this example. My question that I must present: where was the voices that claimed they loved Jesus? Where were they? Who in the crowd was bold enough to say, "Stop it! What are you doing to that man?" But John said that so many people believe Jesus. Where were the voices of the many? They allowed the enemies of Jesus, a good man, they allowed him to be easily murdered. Where was Lazarus? Y'all said that Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead. So where was he in the crowd? Where was he? How come he didn't say, "Don't do that"? You're wrong. I was once dead and willing to die again. You're not going to kill this man. Where was all the people that he healed? Where was the blind that he made see? The lame that he made walk? All those who benefit from his miracles, where were they at? Nobody. They let the enemies of Jesus take him, and they stood in the background and did nothing. I'm using this as an example because many of y'all claim that if you was there, that never would have happened. You are a liar. You are a liar. I'm going to tell you and say and call you a liar in your face because it's true. Because Jesus, this Jesus of the Bible, stood up against evil, stood up against wickedness. And he did it so tough that the government came down on him. Not just the gangsters, not just the pimps and the prostitutes, the government came on Jesus. Here you are. You claim to be a follower of Jesus Christ. And if you are a follower, if you follow me and I walk through dirt, then dirt get on your shoes. If I walk through dog crap, then dog crap gets on your shoes. If you're a follower of Jesus, then why isn't there a government on your shoulders? How come you're not suffering? The only thing y'all do is make up these churches, and then you take the Bible and science it up. Quote, making quotes. Jesus was not a quote of anything. Jesus was a fighter against evil. And then the evil fought him back. And his crucifixion was the result. Who is crucifying you? Ain't nobody bothering none of y'all. Because if you was following Jesus, it would. But there's no government. Ain't no drug dealers coming after you. Ain't no pimps coming after you. Ain't no fornicators or adulterers. Ain't nobody bothering the church. Ain't nobody bothering none of y'all religious folks. You know why? Because you're not doing nothing. Now, some of you, now there are some religious people who fight against what they view as evil and wickedness. Some of them do go to jail. Some of them get killed. Some of them get harassed. Some of them get made mockery of. But they are doing what they're supposed to do because they following a man, Jesus Christ, who actually not run his mouth, but actually was doing or having activity that was messing with those who are wicked. And his fighting was even felt in the government, so the government had to make a move on Jesus Christ. I don't remember the last time, except during the civil rights movement, where police or FBI or anybody from the government have made a move on any religious place for no reason. You know why? Because you're not really a follower of Jesus. You are a helper of those who Jesus fought against. You embrace evil. You embrace the government. You embrace the wicked. Here you are. It clearly says in the scriptures that homosexuality is an abomination. But y'all accept it all over the earth, homosexual behavior. Now for me, all sin should be treated equally. I don't know why homosexuality, for some reason, has been chosen as the ultimate sin or something like that. But y'all have accepted it because the government has given it to you and approved it. So you accept it. If you are a follower of Jesus Christ, then where's the government that's giving you problems? Where's the government that's harassing you? Ain't nobody bothering you at all. So that's my problem. See, that's because even the government knows that the houses of religion is filled with weak-minded hypocrites. You want to get angry at me because you want people to actually believe that you're holy and righteous and you're not. That you really stand for Jesus Christ. That you really stand for Muhammad. How can you be a follower of Prophet Muhammad killing another Muslim and you're a Muslim? How can you say that you follow Jesus Christ, Christians killing Christians, Jews killing Jews? Y'all are, all of you are of the synagogue of Satan. All of you are. Ain't nobody better than the other. That's why it's ironic that somebody who don't believe in God can be raised up out of the ranks to show you what you're really supposed to be. You friend of the enemy. You friends of the oppressor. Christian people should be growing their own food, providing for themselves, for their own people. They should not be dependent upon a evil government that's doing wicked things. But you do. You know why? Because you part of it. You have become part of the problem instead of becoming part of the solution